I think we're live. Yeah, I think we're live now. Okay. Hi guys, merhabalar. I hope you can hear me. Today is Thursday. It's afternoon time for me here in Turkey, and it must be like after hours, nighttime for you guys in Asia. So welcome to BitCherry's new podcast. Sorry, livecast, where I will be discussing the technical features of BitCherry and then talk about their new Whitepaper 2.0. So before we begin, I would like to talk about a little bit about myself, because you might not know me globally, but in fact, I'm actually a very famous guy in Turkey. So I started doing my first crypto investment back in 2013, and then when Bitcoin made all-time highs, I made a lot of money. And then back in 2017, when I was still talking about Bitcoin and blockchain technology, a couple of my friends actually encouraged me to start a YouTube channel. So I did that, and then I became like a crypto influencer here in Turkey. So right now I have more than 120,000 followers in Turkey. I've been producing content around blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin's future. Other than that, I've also published a book about blockchain tech and Bitcoin. So I mean, I'm pretty involved in this tech. And today I will be discussing BitCherry's technological, achievements, because they've released a new white paper and they're talking about some really interesting concepts in this white paper. So we're going to dive into these technical features. We're going to be also hosting a, charity gift present. So by the end of this, live cast, we will be asking some questions in the chat, and if you guys can answer them correctly, you will be rewarded 50 BitCherries as a present. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to wait for the questions. I hope you guys can answer them correctly so you can get your prizes from BitCherry. So before we dive into BitCherry's technology, I mean, let's talk about what's happening lately in the world, because I'm pretty sure you guys are also shook up with this COVID-19 outbreak, which is like caused a global pandemic. There's a lot of restrictions from the government. Nobody is able to do their work. Nobody is able to go to their office, and everybody had to try to do their work remotely. So this actually caused a lot of problems, and at the same time, it brought some new concepts to our lives, because today we're living in the age of internet, and most of the jobs that we're doing in offices are actually, we should be able to do them at home as well. So a lot of people realize that this is the possibility. But even if it is possible to work remotely from home, there still isn't like a good infrastructure to host all your businesses from your home's comfort. So blockchain technology, blockchain methodology of databases can actually enable this. But to be honest, there still hasn't been a robust and fast blockchain that can adopt a lot of business applications. Today we're discussing mainly Bitcoin as a good use case of blockchain, and since Bitcoin's blockchain is the most strong blockchain, the hash rate of Bitcoin's blockchain is super high, but at the same time, Bitcoin is a very old technology. It's almost 12 years old. The latest halving happened, so that marks the 12-year age of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, if we speak in like a programming language, it isn't Turing complete. So you can't run smart contracts on Bitcoin. You can't program Bitcoin's blockchain. You can't store any data on it except Bitcoin transactions. So it is an old technology. It has very limited use cases, and it is super slow for today's business applications. Bitcoin's technology only allows 6 to 8 transactions per second, and that's just not enough for today's world. Even companies like Visa and MasterCard are processing more than 30,000 transactions per second. So we need to get there to make blockchain a main use case globally. So everybody's trying to nail this problem. I mean, apart from Bitcoin, Ethereum is also trying to solve this problem. But the thing with Ethereum is that's also not designed really well. I mean, the scalability is there, the speed is there, but the Ethereum network isn't that secure. We are seeing a lot of attacks, we're seeing a lot of bugs and problems in the Ethereum network. So that also renders Ethereum useless in professional use cases. So imagine if you're running a company, and then you just won't be able to store your data securely on the Ethereum network because it's not that safe there. So BitCherry aims to solve these problems. They're trying to build a scalable, secure, and robust blockchain technology. So they've come up with some really interesting concepts that they're talking about in their new white paper. So if you want to check the new white paper 2.0, you can go to their official website, www.bitcherry.io, and then check it out for yourself. I mean, if you're a tech-savvy guy, if you want to read about all the details, you can do that on the website. So, and if you don't want to do that, I'm just going to talk about the basics today. So, where should I begin? As I said, I mean, this is not my phrase, but the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, said this. So he said, a blockchain technology cannot be fast, secure, and scalable at the same time. You need to pick two out of these three things. But that the world doesn't work that way. We need both secure, scalable, fast, and an open distributed blockchain technology to make blockchain work in use cases. So BitCherry designed like some new concepts to overcome all these problems. The first characteristic of BitCherry is the P2+ encryption protocol. So what do we mean by P2+? So the P2+ is actually the underlying network protocol structured first proposed by BitCherry. In order to achieve a wide range of interconnections and interoperability worldwide, a network protocol has been formulated. Various devices and computers that allow the network protocol can send and receive data to communicate with each other. So encryption is key in blockchain, and BitCherry ensures that all the communication on the blockchain is made in an encrypted way with a peer-to-peer structure. And on top of that, BitCherry is also designed to run on IPv8 technology. So what do we mean by IPv8? I mean, today internet is run on IPv4 and IPv6 mainly. So the IP addresses we are using, the protocol for that was called IPv4, but that's 4-bit infrastructure. It wasn't designed for today. It was designed for the back in the 80s and 90s when the internet was first invented. So today there are like billions of devices trying to connect to the internet with the smart home gadgets. I mean, even your toothbrush can connect to the internet via Wi-Fi. So the IPv4 system isn't just enough for today's infrastructure. In order to overcome this problem, they've also designed a protocol called IPv6. But IPv6 was basically like an add-on to IPv4. So just think of IPv4 as a straight one-path road, like a one single lane of road, and IPv6 was just like a double-sided 2-lane road. IPv8, on the other hand, is just like a highway. It's like 8 lanes that way, 8 lanes the other way. It's super fast, and like it can allow billions of devices to be connected at the same time because it runs on an 8-bit technology. So the first 6 bits of IPv8 is designed to allocate IP addresses to people who are trying to connect to the internet, and the remaining 2 bits are actually designed to enable communication for the P2P applications, such as peer-to-peer money transactions on blockchain. So that's why the BitCherry guys decided to base their foundation on the IPv8 technology. This both enables them to future-proof the technology, and also ensures that you can deliver seamless and fast blockchain-based communication across the globe seamlessly. So, I mean, I'm just rambling about these technology concepts and everything. But if you guys have a question, feel free to ask it on the chat. I'll try to answer them if I know the answer. If not, I will just talk about the remainder of the technology, and then talk about where the company is going and where the project is going lately. So let's see. Here's the thing with blockchain technology as well. I mean, everybody is discussing that blockchain is the next big thing. It's like a completely new approach to distributed computing technology. But when you think about it, blockchain is also like a very slow database, because you can only process transactions when all the nodes agree on something. So you can only enter data points one by one. So it doesn't allow like multi-threading. And that's also causing a choking point in blockchain technology to be applied in today's business cases. Some companies try to solve this with high transactions per second. Some companies solve this with like multiple chains. All design solutions have their setbacks and like plus sides, advantages. But in BitCherry, what they designed is they actually created this hash graph data structure. So if you think of blockchain like a single thread, hash graph is more you can think of it like a thread. So there are like multiple lines of data points running through BitCherry's network. So this allows for different applications. This allows for like super fast transactions, and the blockchain works in a much more efficient way. The consensus mechanism that underlies in this hash graph technology is also a little different than the traditional blockchains that we are used to. But the thing with blockchain is that people trust the system because it's transparent and it's distributed. So any participant can join the network and then make sure to keep it safe and secure, and everything can be audited because the blockchain is public. But this methodology, although it works for Bitcoin and Ethereum, where you can see the wallet addresses or like if the transaction status, it's not a good use case for privacy. Because imagine, like, let's say you have like 1,000 Bitcoins and you don't want the government to know about it. Then it just renders that money useless, because you won't be able to make any transactions using the blockchain. When you send money to someone, then they will be able to trace it back to you. And this transparency is also causing some use cases in the blockchain network. The same thing applies for like government-based use cases as well. The governments, I mean, China actually started with their own CBDC project. They're running some beta tests now in the country, but they designed to build their own system. You know why? Because they can't use like a 100% public and transparent blockchain for something as crucial as running a country's monetary system. So in order to solve this problem, BitCherry guys also created a concept called sidechains. So you can create as many sidechains as you want in the BitCherry ecosystem, and you can actually configure these sidechains to be private or like secret, so nobody can apart from the participants of your company or your country or your organization, no one else outside will be able to see what's happening on that blockchain. So this way you both ensure that your data is safe, it's not public, and at the same time you're utilizing the consensus mechanism of the BitCherry network. So this is kind of like best of both worlds, and it enables companies or like governments or like social entities to utilize BitCherry's technology in any application they want. So you can actually build your own computing system using blockchain's technology, which is really cool, because if you do that, you wouldn't have to pay anything for like servers. You wouldn't have to pay anything for data storage. Everything will be stored encrypted in the BitCherry network. And then since you're also participating in the BitCherry network, you're also helping BitCherry blockchain to stay safe, because you're staking your side of the business in the blockchain of BitCherry, which is also really cool. So finally, they also have this concept called sharding. Sharding is actually not a blockchain term. It's actually used in computing a lot. So instead, in order to prevent choking points in an online system, you can actually shard your operation into multiple small operations. So not if a computer is trying to issue transactions, not the entire processing power is spent on that. You actually shard each use case into like different servers. So this way, you remove the choking points and friction points in the system. So BitCherry also supports sharding. You can actually shard all the use cases into different layers because it's designed that way. And this way, you can actually utilize BitCherry in any business application as you want. So actually, that's pretty much it. To be perfectly honest, it is exciting to read about these concepts in the white paper, but it's better if we see the real world use cases of this technology once it's out. So the BitCherry team is actually moving forward with making this work in a live environment. You can actually see all their coding, all their applications and beta tests online. You should go down and click on their official website. Yeah, and if you haven't still joined, you should also find their local communities on Telegram and then join that, so BitCherry ambassadors can answer your questions and then let you know about the latest developments in the blockchain, BitCherry blockchain ecosystem. So while you're doing that, I should also mention that it is also possible to invest in BitCherry. So you can actually go today and sign up to an exchange and purchase BitCherry tokens. This is something I would like to mention because Bitcoin has shot up like 20,000x if you base the price to just 1 cent. I mean, if you were one of the early guys, you could have made a fortune out of Bitcoin. But today, Bitcoin is already really huge. I mean, it's going around like $9,000-$10,000 per piece. So the upside, there is still upside potential to the price, but you won't be able to, do 100x, or like 1,000x earnings in your investment. Same applies for Ethereum as well. It has grown so big that the upside potential isn't that big. But with projects like BitCherry, it's still in its early days. I mean, they still don't have like a real use case. So if you just like put a really tiny amount of investment in a project like BitCherry, and if the BitCherry team succeeds in achieving all of these technical statements that they have been providing in the white papers, if they can find some real world use cases, then the token price is going to appreciate like crazy. And since you were one of the early guys in the investment trade, you will be rewarded greatly. So that's why I kind of like brand new altcoin projects, because even though if it's risky to make an investment in a very early stage company or like a blockchain tech, the payout can be very rewarding if the company goes well. So I think someone is asking about where they can purchase BitCherry tokens. So right now, it is only possible to get these tokens in BitTalk exchange. So you can find information about that both in the website and in the Telegram communities. So you need to sign up to BitTalk and then deposit some money either in Bitcoins or Ethereums or like Tether dollars, depending on what you have, and then you can convert that into BitCherry. Right now, since the BitCherry network isn't operating on its own blockchain, this is an ERC20 token, so you can easily transfer that BitCherry into your own Ethereum wallet. So, I mean, it's still the early days. all the major altcoin projects started their path this way. I mean, Binance's token was also like an Ethereum token in the beginning. So I mean, this is how it works in the early days. But I've spoken with the BitCherry team in China, and they told me that they're working really hard to get these tokens listed in some of the major exchanges. And this also includes Turkey. I mean, we're working closely together to get BitCherry listed in one of the major exchanges here in Turkey as well. So that's going to happen globally really soon. And once BitCherry gets listed in some of the major exchanges, it's going to receive a lot more volume than it has today, and the price is going to go up really fast. So I mean, you should check out BitTalk and see if you can get your hands on some BitCherry today, because as I said, it's super risky to invest in a project where they even don't have a project, but it's like high risk, high yield of return. If your bet goes validated, then you're going to make a lot of money. And that's the thing with crypto. We're not looking for 10% investment returns, or like 20% or like 50%. We're looking to double or triple or like 100x our money. So that's why I'm super interested in projects like BitCherry, and I believe these guys are going to achieve a lot of great stuff because they have a really interesting concept of blockchain, and the team is also working very hard, and they're very active globally. I mean, they've signed some pilot agreements with some governments in South Africa. So government applications can actually really help a blockchain technology to get some adoption. So a lot of interesting stuff is happening. So if you want to keep track of what's happening in the BitCherry network, don't forget to sign up to their communities. Don't forget to check out their social pages, and don't forget to check their website for the latest updates on their white paper or the news, so you can keep track of what's happening with your investment. So I'm just gonna end it here. I don't want this to be a long and boring run. So let's see if you have any other different questions. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like pretty much it. So I'm still waiting for the BitCherry team to ask some questions and get the community to answer them, because we promised to hand you out like 50 BitCherry each. There is one last question. Is it possible that we will be listed on largest cryptocurrency exchanges like Unifier, who will be Binance in the near future? Yeah, I mean, it's something really important to get a coin listed in one of the major exchanges, because it will drive so much volume to that coin. It will also bring in a lot of awareness around that project. But the thing is, the big exchanges are also aware of this fact. That's why they have like very tough requirements, and they ask for like a lot of money to have your coin listed. I mean, as far as I know, Binance asks for at least $200,000 just to evaluate your application to get listed in their exchange. This is actually ridiculous in my opinion. So that day will come in the future, but I wouldn't recommend any new project to go after the big exchanges such as Binance. Instead, since this is an ERC20 token, I would suggest they go into like decentralized exchanges where they don't charge any listing fees. You can try McAfee DEX, you can try Uniswap, there's Ether Delta, there's Fork Delta. You can just list your token there. It will immediately build a volume and then the ability to purchase this token globally. So that's the good way to go. But maybe in the future, it might make sense to pay up the price and go for a major exchange. So Aaron has another interesting question. Being a company brings a lot of challenges along the path of being successful. So what are the major challenges that your company, BitCherry, go through? That's a great question. And I'd say that the biggest challenge for a new company like BitCherry is to actually launch their product, because there's so much heavy tech concepts here. It's a bold promise to provide both decentralization, both security and scalability. So like none of the blockchain projects were able to deliver this yet, but these guys claim that they can. So we need a real product to see if that's true or not. So that's the biggest challenge right now. I mean, concepts look cool in white papers, but if you can't build it, then it just doesn't make any meaning in life. And yeah, list more exchanges. Yes, the team is working on getting this listed on a lot of exchanges. So if you have any recommendation to where to list, BitCherry, or what exchange you would prefer, don't forget to type it in the live chat or in the comments. We will definitely take it into consideration. So yeah, a lot of Turkish investors are asking if BitCherry will be listed in Turkish, stock exchanges, coin exchanges. So yeah, I mean, BitCherry should definitely work on that. And one last question. So can you tell me more about the event with CoinDesk? Honestly, I don't know anything about that event, but BitCherry just celebrated their first year anniversary. They had this big event where the CEO got to speak about their future plans and their achievements. So maybe CoinDesk actually covered that and called it an event. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, we've spoken about IPv8, we've spoken about sharding, side chains, Hashgraph, where you can buy BitCherry, what's happening with the company, what's new in the Whitepaper 2.0. So that's pretty much it. I mean, we are planning to do these live casts every month. So on the next live show, I'm hoping to bring in some more good news to you guys, with some more development updates, and hopefully the price will also follow these updates. So today, that's it for today. Thanks for joining the live cast. I hope I was informative enough for you guys. And yeah, see you guys on the next live cast.